Tax depreciation is essentially a tax deduction. It's cash flow for an investor. It gives you a whole lot of extra money back that you might not have otherwise had, which can help you build your portfolio and give you many other options. Essentially, it's similar to a trader claiming wear and tear on their car and their tools, but in this case, you're claiming wear and tear on all the items of your investment property, from the structure of the property right through to all the fixtures and fittings. The benefits of having a tax depreciation schedule done is cash flow. It's a whole lot of extra money that you might not otherwise have had. That can help you maybe add to your property portfolio, certainly make the investment that you've got more affordable. The tax office essentially says that it has to be a quantity surveyor to do tax depreciation schedules because of our construction cost expertise. Most of Australia's accountants refer their clients and also their own personal properties to BMT tax depreciation. So there was a bit of a legislation change a couple of years ago which caught quite a few people off guard. And essentially what the tax office said is that if you're not the first owner of the fixtures and fittings, you're no longer able to claim those fixtures and fittings as a tax deduction. It affects the cash flow a little bit in the early years, but essentially it's not that big of a deal because about 80% of the whole deduction is still available on the structure of a property. Every investment property is at least worthwhile making an inquiry about. We won't do a depreciation schedule for our clients unless we can double our fee in the first full financial year. So it's peace of mind for a lot of the investors. Regardless of whether you're the first, second or even third owner, it's worthwhile making an inquiry about so that you have that peace of mind knowing one way or another you're going to be able to claim your deductions and make the most of it. If a property is extremely old, once again I would say at least make an inquiry about it. We'll ask some preliminary questions about the property and we'll be able to work out whether it's going to be viable for our clients to do. Once again, we've got that guarantee in place of double our fee in the first full financial year as a tax deduction. We do go out to many old properties. They're all different. Some of them have had an extension, some have had renovations, and there's just so many variables that I would say at least make the inquiry. Depreciation is available on commercial properties. Word must be catching on quickly because we're doing more and more of them. There are a lot of the jobs now. We go to anywhere from a 120,000 acre farm, which I visited recently, to a real estate office building to do the inspections on. The fees are all quoted on a case-by-case basis because of the large variance in the properties. A 120,000 acre farm is going to take much longer than a small office, but the deductions are often very, very high. A lot of people aren't familiar with claiming depreciation on their investment property, therefore they're not claiming any of their deductions. If they are only just finding out about depreciation, they can actually go back and amend up to the previous 2 years' tax returns based on what our schedule says. So the property is always going to start depreciating from when that owner takes ownership of the property. They may have even lived in it initially. They won't be able to claim that portion of the year that they were living in, but we'll pro-rata it from the portion that they started to rent it out. So over time, people may make changes to their investment property. When they do that, there's two options. They can either let us know what they've done as far as the change goes, or they can let their accountant know what the change is to the property, and the accountant can also balance the schedules accordingly. Often it can be a good idea to at least let your accountant know what you have done, because then they'll work out whether you can claim it as a repair or maintenance item, or it might be an improvement which will then go on to depreciate.